We all approach mealtime differently. Both how and what we eat is always going to be a bit different from family to family. Then there are these standout cases. From roadkill diets to diners with strange guests, these families definitely have bizarre eating habits that stand out when compared to most regular families. Just grazing. This next story of strange eating habits doesn't involve a family, but a church congregation, which we guess is kind of like a family, so we'll let it slide. If you're ever in Ga-Rankua, South Africa, don't be alarmed if you see a bunch of people foraging on the ground like wild animals. These are just members of a local church who have taken to eating grass. Yeah, you heard that right. Instead of wine and bread, these churchgoers head outside and gobble up as much grass as they can. 100% beef. We are often told to eat a well-balanced diet and limit the amount of red meat that we consume. Try telling that to the Anderson family. For the past 17 years, this family of 4 has only eaten beef. Okay, they did experiment with working in fish and chicken, but in the end, they settled on a no-carb, 100% red meat diet. To health-conscious people, it sounds totally insane. In addition to only eating meat, they take no vitamin supplements and only drink water. It's definitely a bizarre diet and one which runs them upwards of $1,700 a month in grocery bills. Roadkill cuisine. For the Hunt family of England, when they decide to pick up dinner, it probably isn't the way most people would think. You see, they regularly add roadkill to their diet. Sure, you've likely heard of people picking up deer if they've been hit to take home for food, but what about badgers? Yep, they do that too, even if it already has a few maggots. In fact, when Austin Hunt brought one home for dinner, the entire family took part in butchering and preparing the roadkill for a feast. Vampire cuisine. Many families enjoy a good glass of wine, either when they get home from work or sit around the table for dinner. Leah Benninghoff and Aro Dravin like a tall glass of the red stuff as well, only in this case, it isn't wine but each other's blood. At least once a week, often with a meal, the two consume the blood because that's what vampires are supposed to do. While we're sure most of you won't get into this habit, we are left wondering what sort of food best pairs with a chilled glass of type O blood. That's not 2%. You're likely familiar with the whole debate over whether or not breastfeeding is a must for babies. Well, this puts a whole new spin on the topic. When people head over to visit the Klass family, they likely think twice when asked if they take anything in their coffee or tea. You see, when you ask for milk in your drink, you might not be getting the stuff that comes from the cow because this family has a history of using breast milk in their drinks. We think we'll take our coffee black. Thank you very much. Unbearable. Not all bizarre eating habits have to do with what we consume. Take the Pantalinko family, for example. When it's time to eat, they pull up a chair for their other family member, Stepans, a 300-pound, 7-foot-tall bear. Stepans reportedly has great table manners and even enjoys sipping tea with his very large daily meals, which even include a morning bowl of porridge. You can't make that up. Garbage. You've heard of vegans, but have you heard of freegans? These are people who go dumpster diving to live off the massive amounts of perfectly good food that we throw out every year. Take the Soto family in St. Augustine, Florida, for example. They stock their freezer and refrigerator with all sorts of food and produce that comes from the dumpsters of grocery stores. In fact, there is often so much good food thrown out that they can't even eat it all before they have to throw it out for a second time. Road trip. Did you ever head out on long summer road trips with your family? Remember all the great places you stopped at to eat and try new foods? Big family vacations can mean changing up your eating routines a little bit. In the case of Patrick Jones, Meg Ullman, and their kids, a road trip is the time for some rather interesting cuisine. You see, during a 14-month, 6,000-kilometer journey, this family decided to live off the land, literally. Not stopping at any restaurants, this Australian family ate weeds, plants, and any fish they could catch along the way. Even family dog Zero had to forage for himself, often resorting to roadkill to fill his belly. Well folks, did you think this video was gross? Let us know in the comments down below. And while you're here, why don't you check out our other offerings over at The Richest. And hey, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks, and bye-bye.